We have more or less sign up of around 200 people coming today. So you will see a lot of people coming in and out during the day. So thank you for being the early birds. That's very kind of you. We are going to run very strict. We have 17 sessions. It is a very important day. I think every day at COP is important. But I think this day here is probably a little bit more important because it's about gender equality and making sure that women have a voice as we are recharging and rechanging and creating a new sustainable world. So that is really exciting. So there is a little bit of history with the people up here. If Stan also come with me up here and take a seat. The people we have here, can I get the slides up here? 2 seconds, we have the slides. It's always the fun when you start something like this to get everything ready, but you have your coffee, so it should work out. So with me up here on the stage, I have some remarkable people, but also some people that have been part of this here for a couple of years. For 3 years ago, I actually run a similar space like this here, where we were in Glasgow. How many of you were in Glasgow? Yes. Was it tough to be in Glasgow? Yes, because it was during COVID. So I would say the people people think it was tough to come to Dubai for this. Coming to Glasgow, we talk about health, we talk about taking the risk. That was crazy, but we did it and it was similar setup. And then last year in Sharm el-Sheikh, how many of you went to Sharm el-Sheikh? Yeah. Sharm el-Sheikh was equally tough, but tough in another way. And so we hosted again Female Quotient together with Stain. But on the way, I had Anders, who is the CEO of Denominator, with me, because one thing is to think that we are doing a lot of great stuff to become more sustainable and drive the whole agenda around climates, but how do you make sure that women have a voice during that entire transition? So what we dominate this day here is that it will be very much data-driven, and that's why all the speakers, there'll be a lot of speakers that go through this stage here today, they will talk about it from a data perspective. So Anders and his amazing company have literally been looking at when we now are recharging and changing the world, are we then making sure we change the seat of the table for women? So we will speak a lot about this. But before this, I'm going to run a small video. So if we can get Shelley Salas. Shelley Salas is not with us. She is but she is with us in heart and spirit, and there's a small video from her here.
Quotient. And I'm so happy to welcome everyone live and virtually to the Equality Lounge of COP28. I'm so sorry that I'm not with you in person, but I am watching live from Los Angeles. Now more than ever, we need to make sure that women are involved in the business of climate-related decisions, because 80% of the people displaced and impacted by climate change are women. It's time to change the equation and close the gender equity gap. So here's to each and every one of you conscious leaders on our refugee path. Thank you for sharing your ideas, actions, and advancing equality together.
Thank you so much, Shelley. And we all are a big admirer of Shelley, and many of us would be together with her again when we go to World Economic Forum. So thank you so much, Shelley. Thank you so much to Female Quotient. Thank you so much for being able to represent Female Quotient again the 3rd year in a row. So with this, I would like to hand over to Stan, who is the partner of this incredible space, which is the super cool center led by Sergio de la Vega, that you also will meet later today. And Stan, you and I did this here in Sharm. It was an evening, and it was with a pool, and it was a little bit different that they set up, but it was still the same messages. So please say a couple of words.
Thank you. First of all, welcome everybody. So, you know, with Hub Culture, an online social network, one of the oldest in the world, we have been doing hubs, over 60 hubs around the world since really 2005. We were founded in 2002. We became active with COP in 2009 in Copenhagen. And we've had many adventures over the years in Davos, even this year at the Oscars with hubs. But COP is always the place where we've come for moving forward on climate action. And you know, it's really exciting after Sharm and the success that the Climate Pavilion had there. But it kind of goes back. Like I see Natalia in the front row here, and we worked with Global Brain and her group in 2015 at the very famous Paris Agreement in Paris for that COP, and Marrakesh and Durban, and so many COPs around the world. This is our biggest hub ever, and I think that it's a testament to collaboration, because we always talk about collaboration, and the reality is real collaboration can be kind of difficult. You need to be able to build a platform, and you need to be able to build inclusion across all forms to actually make that work. And then you have to get down to the nitty-gritty of the tension. And so I want to just ask you all to kind of embrace the tension of collaboration. It's not always easy, and it can only happen successfully when it's built on trust. And I want to just explain how me and Anne got to that level of trust real quick, because we were at the hub in Cannes, and I'd always really liked Anne. I'd seen the other things that she was doing, developing with her time at SAP, Hope House in Glasgow, but we never quite knew how to connect. We were always just a little bit disconnected, but there was a certain level of trust because you see the way other people are working. And in Cannes at the hub, Anne came to hang out with us at the hub there, and we did a breathing exercise to synchronize. And it was a wonderful moment. And since then, it's been impossible for us not to collaborate. So I want to ask us all right now in this room to do a quick little 3-breath exercise to synchronize this group. I guarantee you it's going to make a difference in your ability to connect. So just 3 quick breaths in, like through the nose, holding it, and that intention of us is this group being able to synchronize. And then exhaling. Breathing in one more time with the potential of our collaboration. And exhaling. And one final time to set the energy of our synchronization together. Breathing in. Everyone included, one team, one dream. And exhaling. That's my message. It works. And we're so excited to have you here with Supercool, with FQ, with the Hub, all of us collaborating together and making that tension into diamonds in a way.
Thank you so much, Stain. Thank you so much. The next person I want to mention is Cameron Soul. And Cameron has been a good friend for many years. He will say a couple of words, but it is really a move. It's just like the spirit, the mindset, what Stain talked about. But it's also about signal what you're staying for. So I have the Together Band, which is the movement that I have joined, and I've joined it for the gender equality. And this is really what Cameron, he is advocating for around the world. So please, Cameron, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Thanks, Anne. Thanks, Stan. Thanks, Supercool family. And thanks to all of you guys for joining us first out of the gates, or possibly you've already been somewhere else already today. But thank you for joining us. As Anne mentioned, I'm the co-creator of a global campaign in partnership with the UN Foundation and UN Global Compact called Together Band. Together Band, we actually have a little table and mini setup over there for you to come and see and understand what our bands are in person after the session. But essentially, my work over the last 21 years has been about using fashion and creative culture to empower economically disadvantaged women and indigenous communities around the world. So we currently have 4 ateliers with specific communities that we've set out to work with and to support economically. One is in Nepal, in Kathmandu, in Salvador in the northeast of Brazil, in the Amazon rainforest, and the new program that we're developing is with the Maasai. And essentially, we all know this and the data proves this, is that it's got to be about empowering women financially within communities. And at this time of climate crisis, how do we get into the most risk-affected communities and empower women in the right ways? You know, to have the confidence, to have the financial confidence to be supporting their families and the broader society structure within those communities. We'll see that that lifts all boats when we get that right. The fashion industry is sadly one of the most extractive industries that we've seen in the world, and the negative impacts of the fashion industry are somewhat endless. I grew up in the fashion industry. My father founded the British luxury group Mulberry. And so I grew up understanding how fashion could be a force for good in terms of working with artisans at a very high level to execute beautiful craftsmanship, beautiful design. And what I took away from that was actually a desire to apply that on a quality execution level to some of the most risk-affected communities around the world. So my father and I founded Bottletop, which is the parent entity behind Together Band in 2002, through a best-selling design collaboration between Bottletop and Mulberry, where we were supporting women working as artisans, making beautiful pop art bag designs from the waste bottles, the waste tops from bottles in Nairobi, in Kenya. And we were adding waste leather offcuts from the Mulberry factory floor to create what was effectively the first ever luxury sustainable design on the market that was both driving impact within those artisan communities, as well as raising money for local health education programs, as well as cleaning the environment locally, and being an advocacy and awareness raising tool for the consumers that we started talking to back in 2002, have continued to build that global family with. So that's really effectively what our work is about. It's about driving that empowerment. And our Together Band campaign is really a broad-based extension of those values and that approach, from the perspective that we have a singular invitation to the world, which is to choose the SDG that really resonates with your heart and to take action. That action could be as simple as checking in on your neighbor, or it could be something far more ambitious through your corporate platforms and what you do on a day-to-day level. But it's about choosing that goal, and the representation of that are our bands in each of the colors of the goals, made from extraordinary waste and regenerative materials, and in this case made by women who have been rescued from human trafficking in Kathmandu, Nepal. So again, linking the consciousness piece and the awareness raising piece that we can all do and are all doing in our day-to-day lives with the real nuts and bolts of supply chain creation to support those communities.
Thank you so much, Cameron. And I will say I've been working in sustainability field since 2015, when the 17 global goals came out. And it is important for us as individual people to kind of show what we stand for, and this is what you do so well. So with this, I would like to bring my partner in crime, Anders Rodenberg. I called him the weatherman in Glasgow, so sorry for that. You're much more than the weatherman. But Anders is where everything comes to facts. It's not just about I think something, everything is fact-based. So Anders, can you just give us a run-through? And I know everything we're going to talk about every single day, you are going to pull up the data and talk about the data, but can you just give your reflection, how do we stand?
Yeah, no, thank you very much for being here, and I'll keep it short because in some ways we're all very good at talking, but at the end of the day, that's where data comes in and really anchors us in reality. So throughout the day, you will see a lot of the data on where we actually stand. There will be some good stories, but there will also be some very bad stories. But that's where, again, the data can help highlighting both. I do think it's great to be here now on the third year with sort of FQ and the Equality Lounge. When we started in Glasgow, there was actually a lot of bad news in the sense that we did an analysis of all the companies that have committed to the Race to Zero and the 1.5. And they were actually underperforming on diversity, equity, and inclusion and gender compared to companies that were just regular companies. So again, something was missing. I don't know if I or Shelley or you or the FQ should take full credit for it, but the good news is that it's actually starting to change. And again, this year, as well as last year, really the Race to Zero companies are now fully ahead of regular companies in terms of DI and gender performance. So that's a good story. There will sadly also be some negative stories today, so you will see it. But yeah, very happy to be here and let the data speak and anchor us in that.
Thank you so much, Anders. And I know for all the speakers, there's been a lot of data sharing, and it will be brought into every session. And I also know that the team will be more than happy to share all the data that you didn't see yet, of course. So before we kick off this, I have the pleasure, via a joint friend, to get introduced to you, Ray. And you are the founder of Bread of Lights, and you're going to, based on what Stan said, to put us into the right spirit and right mindset.
Yeah. Really good to meet you. I see time's already over, so I have a tough job here. But I have been blessed with multiple lineages of enlightenment-based consciousness and energy transfer, mostly from the Eastern traditions, but also with a background in social innovation. I founded one of the largest social innovation conferences in New York early in the day. So what I am here to do is help ground us, as was mentioned, in the body, in our breath, in our spirit, in an effort to unite us and to expand what we understand as possible so that we can achieve even more than we could have imagined, because that is what is required of the world right now. And so I just invite you to take a breath and feel your feet on the ground. Inspiration comes up here, but action comes from an open heart, as was mentioned, and an open will, which is where trust is built. And all of that is sourced from the ground. These bodies that we're in are a loaned gift from the earth. And so just to feel your feet on the ground and feel the support of the earth underneath you as we call in all of the women in our lives. And so I just want you to invite you to presence the support of not just the Mother Earth, but of mothers, wives, sisters, any family and any communities of women that your work touches today, to invite in their presence at this moment in time to support you in your mission and objective here. And so inviting everyone here into the space right now, all those from the past and from the future, seen and unseen, to support you in your heart and your will, and to invite into this space you to set an intention for your time here. What does success look and feel like for you in this COP, in this space? And what does it feel like in your body to have succeeded? So just welcoming in that success and the feeling of that success that is to come into this space right now, and to feel the celebration and support of every woman your life and work touches, and inviting you to amplify that by also feeling the joy and the success of every person here. And so allowing that to resonate out, to move us beyond our individual actions and intentions to a collective one. So with that, just setting our collective potential and possibility for this time here. May it be so, and so it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so
the moment
much.
of grounding. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody.